Let's go take a look at something real quick. This machine has gotten a couple of repeat J2 trouble calls. Let's look in here. This bracket, it's bent. How did it get bent? We don't know. We probably had a pin somewhere on the setting table, maybe that pin holder double loaded, and when the table came back up, it jammed the pin into the distributor frame and bent it. Now with that being bent, we're seeing an increase of jam calls just because of that. We're gonna have to wait until they're done, but we're gonna try to straighten that out. It might be easier to explain this here where it's a little quieter. If we look in here, table jam switch TS2. It's mounted on the tower for your 10-pin side tower chain. This is TS1. What they were looking for was some kind of rotational bind in the swing shafts and the pin holders, and they weren't seeing anything. Rotational bind in the swing shafts and the pin holders is going to trip TS1. So you get a J1 call. We're getting J2 call. That's something between the setting table and the distributor frame. And judging by that bent plate that we had on the distributor frame, that's where our issue is going to be. We're definitely going to need a pry bar. So let's use a really long pin fork pry bar. Let's see if we can aim right in here. Again, this is not really advised if people are bowling, but I grow impatient. Hey, that's a little better. I think we can go just a little bit more, maybe. Well, we're gonna hit that guard, aren't we? Well, maybe it's better to wait until they are all the way done. That pin transfer looks decent. Let's watch it up close a little more. Yeah, not bad at all. Wow, look at that. 999,155 frames on this pin setter. This thing's about 6 years old, maybe a little more. That's a lot of lineage, considering that COVID shut us down for like nearly an entire year. I wonder how many other people can get 999,155,000. Wait, that came out wrong. 999,155 frames in 5 years. Impressive. And then now for something completely different. We had this fancy track light go out a little while ago. And instead of spending $200, we decided to open it up and see if we could figure out what was wrong with it. So we put our light head here on a bench power supply, and we gave it about 35 volts DC, and it lit right up. So then we knew, okay, bad LED driver. And we were lucky enough to find some on eBay, direct replacement. Let me check what the price per unit was. The cost per unit was $12.65 in American pesos. These units have some dip switches in them for adjustable current. What came out was 400 milliamps. And we have done a visual inspection on our dip switches to ensure that we have 400 milliamps on our new power supply before we plug it in. The unfortunate thing here is that I wasn't the one that primarily took this apart, so I'm kind of guessing on how we're gonna put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Yeah, that looks close-ish. That'll go in there somewhere. Kind of like that. Neat, okay. Yep, we got her all stuffed in there. It all fits. Why does this look ginormous? It's really not. But now we get to tighten all of our screws and we should be good to go. And the good news is we've got 2 more spares because we have a lot of these track lights here. So I figured if one has died, you know, there's going to be others that will need some new parts in the very near future as well. Unfortunately, with this brand or this model, I know it's upside down. Let's turn it around. I wasn't able to find the cob chip for this unit. Let's see if we can zoom in there just a little bit. It's just that yellow circle is just a bunch of cob LEDs. All it is, they're just a whole smattering of cobs on a board. Well, cob is chip on board, right? Well, it's a little redundant there, but yeah, if we take this apart, it's just a little square circuit board. We've got one pad for positive and one pad for negative. That's all. There's no part number, there's no electronics on the circuit board itself. Just a little square that pinches in on the backside and makes a connection with the 40 volts DC output on that power supply. So these are gonna live on our part shelf here with some other lighting stuff. There you go, until we need you. I'm not sure if that's like a really well thought out brand name for power cords. I mean, maybe we want to see some high quality sparking. I don't know. Yep, on to the next project. It's a different day anyways. This UPS device is going to be replacing this UPS device. This is for our scoring system, our sync scoring computers, and the camera system, surveillance. And maybe for our intercard, our arcade game card system too. So we're gonna shut all those computers down, we're gonna power this thing off. We're going to pull it from the rack and replace it with a bigger, beefier unit. All right, old one's out. We need to configure our nuts on the rack so that they'll mate up with the new unit. Well, we have a bit of a problem. The unit is too tall to fit in this hole. Yeah, that'll fit right there. And we still have access to the monitor and the keypad and the server computer for scoring right below it. The plan, I think the idea I have in my head is that unit probably just needs some new batteries in it. So we're gonna open it up, we're gonna check everything out. And we'll put some new batteries in it. We'll put it back up here. And then we will split the load between intercard and our scoring system and our security cameras so that we're running 2 different UPS devices instead of lumping all of that stuff onto one. So if one goes bad, the whole building doesn't crash, right? Let's turn it on. Okay, power up. We can turn on our game card POS server system. We have power back on our camera system and our scoring computer main server. Good, good, good. We are all good here. And then, yeah, we'll get that fixed up we'll put it back there, and then we'll split the loads up so it's not overwhelming one UPS device. So the deal with this guy was that just randomly one Saturday, the scoring system lost communication between devices, and all the arcade card readers crashed, and credit card processing went down, and they discovered this thing was up here just chirping its little heart away. Yeah, not good, especially like on a Saturday or a Sunday morning when it's super busy. I mean, you can really only offer people so many free missions of laser tag when your equipment crashes, right? So she's looking good. We're gonna get our door back on, we're gonna get our side panels back on, take that back to the workshop and open it up. All right, yeah, that looks pretty good. Oh, wait, don't forget your screwdriver. All right, let's button her up. I think the question now is how do we get to the batteries? It looks like we've got some perimeter screws. Yeah, I don't know what kind of batteries go in here. I've never taken one of these apart before. Well, that's pretty self-explanatory. Pull here to remove batteries. Yeah, it might be a two-hand job. No, that kind of came out wrong. Sorry, apologies. It's kind of stuck here. We might have to take the front faceplate off as well. Okay, well, we didn't need to take the top plate off. We removed the faceplate. The batteries are supposed to slide out the front. Like I said, some of you may have known this already. I did not. I've never done this before. That actually makes a lot of sense, so that you can do this while it's still mounted in the rack. Yeah. I didn't guess that going into it, but now I know. So the battery just slides out. The battery plug is anchored in to the frame wall here, and so it just kind of unclipped itself, and if we get another OEM component, it'll probably just clip itself back in. Hey, does anybody want a muffin? I bought them yesterday, ate none. Yeah, started my day thinking I might want some sugary sweet treats, but yeah, I didn't eat any. So the next thing on the list, we're gonna bring our little vacuum out. We're gonna put the hose on the blower side, and we're going to blow out all of our projectors. This one in particular was shutting down, and we think it's kind of going into like a thermal overload. We might have some junk built up in the vents. So let's grab the ladder. I think this one or that one will work. Let's go shorter. And then if we need to go bigger, we can do that. Yeah, that's kind of OSHA approved, isn't it? Huh? I mean, it's equally as sketchy as putting a ladder on a bowling lane that's covered with white mineral oil. Oops, did I give away the secret ingredient of lane conditioner? So let's watch it for a little while. The complaint was it would run, but then it would just shut down after an hour or two of playing. So that's kind of the theory we're working on, is internal overheating because of poor airflow. So we're gonna blow the rest of them out too. Yeah, we're going to need to get the lane conditioning machine back out. We're gonna have to rerun all of our lanes, but they're all blown out. Jeez, look at me, I'm covered in schmutz.